And we're live. Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining. Just wait for a few more people. So, welcome back to Spa PR Tates 10. So my name's Neve, I'm the Senior Account Executive at the Spa PR company. So excited today we're going to be talking to Tania Grier, who is a makeup artist and an online beauty editor at Phoenix magazine. So we'll just wait and see if we can get Tania live. Oh, yeah, she's just joined. Let's see. Now. So we're going to be talking about Tania's career and the advice for aspiring makeup artists. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, really well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Yeah.
It feels like ages, doesn't it?
Oh, I know. It's been just a crazy time for everyone.
So weird, so weird. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah,
we've got
looking forward to
quite
this.
a few people. Yeah, so should we get stuck in?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought we could start with a bit about your kind of background, you know, how you got into makeup and also your work at Phoenix magazine as well.
Yes. Wow, okay, so I'm from Scotland originally. I ended up living in New York when I was much younger and had a fantastic time in New York. And then I came back to London, as you do. And I came back to London and a photographer friend of mine that I've known for years had suggested that I try and go into makeup. Because when I was in New York, I was doing acting and studying out there as well. And he said, you know, I just have a feeling that you would be good at makeup. And I said, why? Because I didn't even wear very much makeup at the time when I was so young. And he said, I don't know, because I was going to go to Glasgow Art School. That was one of my plans. And he said, I just think you're always painting, you're always making things, you're always tearing things apart.
Like that canvas, isn't it?
Yeah. And I said, so I've never ever thought of makeup as being something that I would be good at doing, you know? And he said, I have a feeling, trust me. I was like, okay. So he set me up with a makeup artist that he was working with in London. And he said, look, go on set, spend a couple of days with her, see if you like it. He said, if you don't like it, I'll leave you alone. You'll never have to do it again. And I said, okay. Let's try it, you know. And I was still kind of acting at the time, and I was still going on castings and things like that in London. And so I spent my first day on set was basically a huge campaign for Gossard lingerie, and it was 6 basically, one big supermodel and 5 models who were beautiful. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to stand there and pass her some brushes or something, you know, because I had a clue what I was doing. And all of a sudden, I end up doing 2 of the models.
Oh my God, what a way to start though.
This is crazy, but you know what? It was perfect because it took the fear out of it for me, and I got thrown in at the deep end, you know? It's like when they throw a baby in the pool and expect it to come back up.
I feel like that's the best way though, because otherwise you watch like these makeup artists and then you're like waiting for your turn almost. But if they just like go and then you're like
And I thought, I did say to the makeup artist, I said, you know, I really don't do this. This is, you know, it's my first day and everything. She said, don't worry, darling, you're going to be fine. And she handed me some foundations. I was like, okay. So that was my first day of assisting, basically. Yeah. And after that, I kind of thought, okay, it's doable. It's possible. It was great fun. And having been on the other side of the camera before that years ago, it was quite nice to be behind the scenes because it's never about you when you're doing makeup, you know? Yeah. Which I actually really love now. So I was able to sort of step behind the camera for the first time and I thought, this is quite good. We can kind of hide behind here, do our thing. It's all about the model. It's not about us. This is great. So I kind of segued into it by accident and, you know, assisted for a couple of years. And which was great experience, really good experience. And then I sort of did on-counter work as well while I was assisting.
Okay, yeah.
So I worked at Liberty.
I was
I worked for Estee Lauder companies. So I would work with Laura Mercier. I never worked with MAC, but I would work with all the sort of Estee Lauder groups. And that was a fantastic experience as well. That was really good. And yeah, so that's how I kind of fell into it.
And it's probably a great way as well, working on like the makeup counters, because you can kind of get an idea of what you can get for like your own kit as well.
Definitely.
Like product wise, and like the discounts as well. So you're starting up.
The person that I was assisting, she actually suggested it to me. She said, look, if you're free on the weekends, she said, go and get a Saturday job, go and work Saturday, Sunday on counter. And she said it's great because you'll work with every different skin tone, every face shape, you know, so literally every day you would do these makeovers, and, you know, 8 makeovers a day constantly. And they'd have global artists come in from the States, and it was all very exciting, you know. I was like, who's this? And, you know, so it was great. It's a fantastic experience. I would definitely recommend that if you're getting into makeup.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So as kind of a makeup artist and a beauty editor, you must get sent like so many products, all the launches, but how do you kind of choose what goes into your kit? Because obviously you can't take everything on like set with you. So
no, and especially now I've gone through my kit and really minimalized, like streamlined everything.
Yeah, because it's such a small space as well. Like I heard in one of your other lives, you were saying how you turn up and it's like a tiny little table.
Tiny. I mean, this size, you know. Sometimes you have, usually when we're doing actresses for red carpet, you find yourself in a hotel. The lights are usually not great, so you have to bring lights with you, and then you have this tiny table this size, and you've got to decant all your stuff. It's like, you know, so you end up putting towels over the bed. You find anywhere on the floor where you can kind of decant a few things. And then on your main little table is just your brushes and your hygiene and everything, and your you know, sort of do a lot of picking like this. So yes, so I've definitely streamlined my kit and my skincare kit. Yeah.
What would you say kind of the staples that you would kind of always bring on set, whether it's like a foundation that you know, or like a lightening product that you can mix, or
always like on set or for a job?
Well, both.
Or both. Okay. I mean, when you're nipping down on set, you usually have a little sort of location bag with you, or a little bag, and you'll throw in your sort of lipsticks, your blotting papers, all your sort of things to touch up when you're on set. Things that I always have in my kit are a couple of products for sensitive skin. Okay. So what I'm loving, you know, I'm obsessed with the Mavala nail polishes for years, right?
Oh,
So I've been sort of falling in love with Mavala skincare. And last year I really got into it, and I thought, this is really good. It's very simple, effective skincare. Yeah. So what it says on the packet, what it says on the tube, it does. Yeah. Basically. So if you're going for dry skin or whatever it is, it's great. So what have I got on today? Okay, so I've got this one, the Serum Intense Hydration, this one.
Oh yeah. I love that one,
it's so good. And the red one, I forget what it's called. It's amazing. Look how plump. And then on top of it, I put the this one.
Yeah. I have that. Okay, the
the ultimate cream. Yeah. It's great. So you can actually use this under the eyes as well, which is brilliant, because not all skincare is good for under the eyes. And it's got that sort of gold, slight sort of luminosity to it. So it's got that nice sheen on the skin. Yeah. Amazing. So I've been carrying lots of things like this now. So in my kit from now on, because we're going to have to be much more simple as well for skincare. Instead of carrying, you know, a bit of this and a bit of that, I'm literally sticking to my things that I know are not going to flare anyone up on the day. So if I have a new client or a new model I've never worked with before, I'm basically assuming that she might have sensitive skin. Yeah.
And it's always
I think that's the safest way.
You don't want anyone coming out in like rashes or anything.
No, because I remember once I was working with an actress that I'd known for years, and I had this new, I'm not going to mention the brand because it's a great product, but it was a little under eye cream, and she said, "Ooh, that's weird, that's tingling a bit. Have you used that one before?" And I thought, "Oh, I've never used that one." Okay. The minute she said that, it came off. I just took it right off the little cotton pad, and I dabbed everything down. Nothing actually happened. She didn't flare up, but she could feel that inkling of a sort of
the tingle is not. No, it's always a bit risky. Is it supposed to tingle, or am I like having a reaction here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think for safety now, for me, in terms of kit, it's all about simplicity. Products that you know work. I'll definitely always have a product that gives you a really good glow.
Yeah.
So that kind of like that cream that you put on instantly, and before you do any makeup, the model's like literally glowing. So definitely always have something like that. And then the usual, you know, a great lip balm, a good eye cream, the usual sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I have a few little tools for sort of depuffing, you know, but yeah, staples, I think it's going to be much more simple from now on.
Yeah. And what would you say is kind of the most important factor when doing someone's makeup, especially if you've like never met them before, you kind of don't know their skin type or anything like that?
Yeah, when we usually when we get a call sheet through from a model agency or a production company, they'll give you a call sheet for, you know, before the day. I usually Google the model, I check the skin shades and everything, skin types, I'll pack for that. And then I usually will just, in that extra little email, thanks guys, could you just check with the agency if the model has any allergies? And if sometimes they do come back, like I'd say maybe 2 out of every 10, the agencies will come back and say, actually, she can't use any, you know, MAC or whatever it is because of such and such ingredient. I'll say, okay, I'll take out all my MAC, or, you know, I'll repack. So basically always ask, always check. And if you were working with an actress, for example, that's really important, because if she's in the middle of filming a big movie and or a premiere that night or something, the last thing you want to do is be responsible for, you know, an eye infection or a big allergy.
Oh God. Yeah.
Not good. So definitely when they're in the chair, just take a second to say, right, any allergies, anything I should know about, I won't use it. Yeah. And sometimes they'll look in your kit. Sometimes they'll literally look in your kit and go, oh, I love such and such. Yes, let's use that. You know, I know that brand, or I've already used it, or, you know. Yeah. So just double check. And if you were doing a photo shoot, for example, with models, and it's a fashion shoot, for example, what I would do is always ask, the first thing you usually do in the morning is everybody has a little chat and you get the brief. So you go over the mood boards if you're not sent them the day before. And you need to know what they want. So it's all about asking what they want. Yeah. So whether it's for a job for a fashion company, guys, what do you think? Is it a 60s vibe, or are we going for a 80s thing, or do you want au natural? And they'll say, well, look, there's the mood board. Take a look at it. If you can, grab a copy and take it back up to the makeup chair, so you keep going back to references. So it's all about asking what they want. And then looking at the dress, if it's for a red carpet, for example, you have to see the outfit. The colours, have to. Because you know, say the actress is wearing a beautiful like yellow dress or something. If it's a very I'd say like polished look, you might want to keep the makeup really clean. If she's sort of young and up for something different, you might go with a little bit of pink neon liner or something and go a bit crazy if she's up for it. But you basically want to have the look of the dress, the colours, and then you kind of, okay, so slightly 50s vibe going on. So maybe we'll have a cool flick, but not go too retro. So it's all about asking, looking, researching, thinking, and then start.
And I guess it's quite nice for someone to, if they're getting their makeup done, to have, you know, try something new as well with like the pink eyes, like you said, and they wouldn't normally kind of do that. I think for makeup artists, that starts to happen when you know someone quite well. So if I had an actress in my chair for the first time, and whether she's famous or not, because you know what, with up and coming young actresses, overnight they can literally just turn it around. And they might have been filming for 3 years, and then every film comes out at the same time, and all of a sudden they are huge and they're everywhere. So you have to treat everyone with that level of you know, respect or whatever. So I think when you have someone in the chair for the first time, you have to be slightly cautious and stay on the kind of simple side. Just make sure they look beautiful no matter what you do. You know, make as long as they
look great. And then if you're lucky, you get requested again, you see them again and again. Maybe that third time you say a little bit of glitter, or should we go for a hot pink lip or something? But you need their trust. You need to gain trust for that.
And in terms of makeup trends, you kind of like touched on it briefly just there, but what kind of has been your favourite makeup trend that you've seen like over the past year, or that you've like past few years, or you've recreated, say?
So last year I'd say, so probably autumn winter 19, I think.
Yeah.
So there was that big neon trend that we were just saying,
Yeah.
which I loved. And it came at that time where grunge had come back for a little bit again.
Yeah.
So we had gone full on glam, and then the grunge thing came back a bit, which, you know, honestly, I wasn't thrilled about, because that is, to me, is one of the most boring kind of looks. And throughout 2018, that grunge thing was like, oh, how many more times are you going to ask me for no makeup, you know? And then the neon thing came back, and it was like, ooh, this is good fun.
Yeah.
And then, you know, brands like Fenty came out with all those neon liners, which are great. Actually, Mavala had that amazing gold and silver liquid liner, which I love.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. So I used that on a shoot, actually. And so this sort of liquid liner bright trend was great. I loved that. Yeah. And the sort of splashes of neon everywhere was really fun. And then I think, was it Dior that did that massive big lash, where they had the big heavy lash and then the bottom lash as well?
Yeah. So
they had the sort of little spiky bottom lashes, which was great. I loved that. Yeah. So I think probably the neon thing was most fun.
Yeah. And then kind of coming up into like maybe the height of summer and autumn, what kind of trends do you think are coming up? Do you think it's been affected by like the pandemic, or do you think the trends are still kind of?
Do you know what's weird is, like, okay, so it's not, this is definitely not a trend that you would have hoped on anyone, because it happened because of lockdown. So it's a strange situation to be in. But what I've noticed, that a lot of these, I was getting a bit fed up seeing a lot of these sort of bloggers doing, you know, this full-on kind of, I say Kardashian thing, but, you know, the Kardashian effect with all the contouring and everything. And I think collectively a lot of makeup artists were getting a bit fed up with it as well. And it was sort of being portrayed a lot in fashion shoots as well. So a lot of high street brands kind of caught on, and it was more makeup and heavier makeup. And I think since lockdown, people have been not wearing makeup, obviously, when they're at home. If they have, it's minimal, and it's usually for Zoom calls and things like that.
Yeah, no,
so what a nice, you know, side effect of it is that basically I think everyone's gone a bit more to the natural side again.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing a lot of younger girls not wearing so much makeup, and people not being so stressed about having a full face of makeup on.
Yeah. It's more, you know, kind of, I've noticed like the glowy kind of just natural.
Yeah. And concentrating on skincare. I think everyone has really taken a look at themselves on things like Instagram and Zoom calls and thought, maybe I'm wearing too much makeup, or maybe my skin isn't as good because I'm wearing so much makeup all the time, sort of masking it. So I think people are learning a lot more about what their skin needs, which is great. And then someone's saying I feel more comfortable with because it is a mask for a lot of people. And I always find it quite baffling when I see a young girl on the tube or something, and she's got a caked in makeup, and I can see underneath her skin's actually really good and she's beautiful. And I feel like saying, can I just take it all off for you and show you that you don't need it, you know? But you know, to each their own. But I think in terms of makeup trends, I hope at least we're going to see that natural.
Definitely. Yeah, because I found during lockdown I've only worn makeup maybe a handful of times, but before I didn't wear makeup, like I used to look ill, like I was so pale and ill, and then without makeup I've just been doing my skincare routine, and I look kind of glowy but like fresh. I mean, I've got makeup on now, but like without the makeup I don't, if I had to leave the house I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I look ill. So I don't know why. It's just maybe just taking that time out to focus on like having that routine back, I think.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think it's a routine, and I think obviously a lot of people who are at home, they've been home for the past few months, whether they're being paid to be at home or not from their jobs. They're probably sitting at home, they've got more time to, you know, cook, read, do whatever it is that they didn't have to do before. They might have done a bit more research into brands, you know, natural brands, organic options, things like that. So I reckon people know a lot more about the skincare that they're using now as well. You know?
Definitely. So for any kind of makeup artist watching, what advice would you say, or what would you kind of want to know if you were like restarting out in like the industry?
So for young makeup artists getting into the industry, I would say, okay, so if you really are just getting into it, the best thing you can do is assist. I would suggest that you knock on the doors. Well, now it's different. Everything's going to be in emails and phone calls, but talk to the agencies. Do some Googling, do your research. Look at all the big artists like the Lisa Eldridges of the world and things like that. Look at where they're repped, who's their agent. Maybe contact the agency very politely and very nicely and say, please, could you consider me for a second assistant, maybe, if Lisa's doing a big job, for example. They're not going to give you a first assistant gig until they know, that you're going to turn up on time and you're going to, be hygienic and all that kind of stuff. So you have to you have to be patient. I'd say contact some makeup artists. Don't direct message them on Instagram. That's the lazy way to do it. Either through their agency or email them if you can find the contact, or write them a letter or something like that. Do it the nice way, and then just beg, can I be your second assistant or your third assistant? So definitely assisting. Working on the shop floor as well. It's the best experience. If you're young and you can do that 3 or 4 times a week, and then the other days of the week be available to assist somebody. And then you'll, once everything goes back to normal and we find that we're shooting again properly like we used to, all of a sudden your week will be full and you'll still make some money because you'll be on the shop floor, you'll be learning. And,
build your kit up well on the way.
Exactly. Because, you don't make a lot of money when you're assisting. Sometimes you make nothing. Sometimes you make a little bit. So that's that's 2 years of that at least if you're going to do it properly. So it's good to have that Saturday job or that weekend job.
No, that's great.
Practice.
Practice at home, and also kind of starting an Instagram as well. Maybe do you find that kind of a major platform for you, or?
Well, do you know what? In the past, I haven't really done much of that at all because usually you're too busy. So your days are full of shooting and red carpets and things like that. And it's always about catching up. And obviously, if I'm working with Phoenix and writing an article, that's time consuming as well, because you do all the research, you're contacting all the brands and things like that. And you're testing products out to review them online. So you do actually end up just being too busy to do things like that. But what's nice about, lockdown or whatever is we have more time. So I can force myself to do this. So it's been interesting. I really enjoyed it. And I think if a young makeup artist is watching, other than assisting and working on the shop floor, watch other people, look at the people that are doing some great things just now and figure out what kind of makeup you want to do as well. Because I'm just known for my sort of more natural look. I'm not the kind of Pat McGrath, she's insanely talented and the glitter and the crazy stuff. That's what she does really well. She does everything really well, but that's what she does really well. So watch other artists, figure out what your style, practice on friends. Exactly. So I think, and just also do your research, get to know your decades. So know the difference of a 60s eye and a 70s eye. And an 80s lip and a 90s nothing, and research it while you're at home with not much to do. Get some books, go online and just read. It really helps. It does help, because when you're on set and if an art director says to you, okay, think of that's the thing, is because young people now, when you talk about something like Kathy Came Home or whatever that film was, I think it was from the late 60s. I've had that reference before, and I remember thinking, what was that look again? And then you have to Google it. Google it so you can get that Kathy eye or whatever it was. So if someone says to you, we're going for a such and such, Lauren Bacall or a hair shampoo, Warren Beatty movie, kind of a 70s thing or 60s thing, you've got to research it. Because there's a fine line. There's a fine line from that 5-year gap or something. You have to know what you're doing.
Because the trends are changing kind of every year as well. So if you don't know, you'll just like panic.
And that's the thing, you have to, if you're young and you're getting into business and you're assisting people, the person that you're assisting will kind of assume that you also know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So if they're going to say to you, if I said to one of my assistants, right, guys, we've got 15 models to do. I'm going to give you a quick look. If it was for a show, I'm going to do the first bill, you copy it. You know, usually before, the day before, or a few days before, you'd have prepped for everything as well. But if you didn't have time for some reason to do something, or you're on set and the client decides that they want a big 50s flick or something like that, there's a million different versions of a flick. So basically, you know, practice those, get to know the difference of a retro flick to a modern flick, or a graphic high, or whatever it is. It's all about practice, basically. And you'll learn from all your mistakes. You'll definitely learn. Like, I think the thing is to know that if you're a young artist and you're looking at people like, you know, Ruby Hammer, or, you know, someone that you look up to who's been in the business for years and knows exactly what they're doing, I think the thing is to not feel, you have to be confident and know that a mistake is fine. You'll learn from it. Yeah. And if you put the wrong shade of foundation on, take it off. Start again. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, you'll learn, you'll go back in and you'll add a bit more pink, or you'll add a bit more yellow, or you'll take it down a notch. You know, you'll figure it out. It's just trial and error. Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's makeup. It's just makeup. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's just makeup. And if you're working with a makeup artist who's like supportive and kind of started out where, you know, they would start out, they would understand, you know, you might not get it right every time or the first time. But
yeah. And I think also maybe just don't assist one person.
Yeah.
I assisted a couple of people in the beginning and then realized I kind of stuck with one artist, and I thought, okay, that's the kind of skin I want to do, and that's the kind of work I want to do. So I kind of stuck with her, and most of the time, but I did assist a few other people. But I think if I was going to do it differently now, I would take, say, 3 or 4 artists and find your, you know, one will be great for like really dramatic looks, and someone else might teach you a lot about skin, how to do that ultimate skin. And someone else might just be great at like cool graphic lines and stuff like that, or have a whole different client list. So with one, you might be more on TV sets or music videos, and the other one might be more fashion. So it gives you that rounded, you know, the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all contacts as well, which is super important. So Sophie's asked, what is the best technique to match foundation?
To match a foundation? Well, I think, I mean, I think you have to, the best trick I would say, the minute someone sits in your chair, if it's winter and they have like a polo neck on or something high, or a scarf, just say, do you mind if I take that off? I need to see here. So what you want to do is look at where this sits on the model here from this area, because that really is your true color, whatever's happening here. Then make sure if you're doing a shoot, you know they're going to be showing a bit of body. Ask them to see, you know, can I see your hands? Can I see your legs? Make sure everything's going to match. Yeah. Because that's the worst. You do all this perfectly. And then they go on set and they're seeing a bit too much leg, and you're like, oh, her legs are much darker, what have I done? So then you have to take the legs down. So always look at the big picture. And then I'd say for matching foundation, Sophie, literally I always get a palette, you know, a clean stainless steel palette, and I'll add a drop of the foundation that I think is going to be right. And then just in case, I'll do a dash of a pinkish and a dash of a darker yellow. Yeah. And I think most makeup artists would say the same. It's very rare that you'll pick up a bottle and it will be the perfect color. So it's all about blending. So if you're going to work with someone, bring the shade down and the shade up that you think they're going to be. Yeah, or the undertones as well. Yeah. And the undertones, So mix, blend, and if you're not a makeup artist and you're just looking for your own personal ultimate foundation, I would always have a summer one and a winter one. Yeah. So for your example, you're like, I've got some fake tan on because I was testing, but I'm usually very pale. Yeah. So I would have that warmer shade for summer, which will be probably 1 or 2 up from what I would normally need, and then I'll just add a dash of that as the summer goes on. Yeah. Then as you go into winter, you'll add less of a dash, until you go back to your normal foundation again for winter. But on set, blend. I think it's the best way. And layer. So prep your skin, make sure your skin's really good, and then add just enough foundation, and then look at the face. And if you need to cover a bit more redness, go back in, and then you add layer a bit more, layer a bit more. So build it up.
It's easier than taking away. That's what I always find.
Yeah, because you it's much easier taking it away.
Yeah.
And with makeup in general, I think as well, it's about layering. So go in with a bit of an eye, step back. Okay, I can go a bit more, and I can go a bit more. And I think it's all about going in slowly and kind of blending. So yeah.
Well, amazing. I think that's, you know, the perfect place to round it off. So if anyone is, you know, aspiring makeup artist or just likes to listen to hear people talking about makeup, then definitely go to Tania's channel. I've seen you've done a lot of lives over on your Instagram. You've got one today as well, haven't you?
Oh yes, I have a live today.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a live today with my lovely friend Todd in New York, and we're doing eyebrows.
Yes.
So today we're going to go through all of our eyebrow kits and give you some tips for eyebrows and things like that as well. So I think the lives are good fun. I always learn a lot when I'm watching other people's lives.
Yeah.
So I
find them so interesting. It's like, I'm not a makeup artist, but I just love listening to like you and Todd talking about like kind of what products you love. I'm getting my own tips for it. Yeah.
Well, it's good because I think a lot of people, you know, everyone always asks me if I'm a new client in the chair, they say, oh, what's that? Yeah, that looks nice. Or, you know, why would you use this or something? Or what's your favorite blusher? And I say it's such a hard question to ask. There's no such thing as a favorite blusher. I'll have a few, but there'll be another one coming out next week that might end up being my new favorite. So, I think it's just interesting sometimes for people to sort of have a sneak peek at what's in someone's kit, and you might find something that you actually end up being your favorite foundation as well. You know, just so so 4 o'clock today is brows, all about the brows. Yeah.
So definitely tune into that. And next week on Spa PR, we have one of our lovely clients, Penny Weston. So Penny is the founder of Made, which is a wellness brand, and she's also the director of Model Short Oats as well. So definitely stay tuned. That's going to be at 1 p.m. next Saturday.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Oh, thanks so much. So nice to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah.
This is our version of seeing each other now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the new normal.
Yeah, and also if anyone had any questions just now that I didn't answer because I was focusing on you, feel free to direct message me and I'll try and answer them for you. So, but thanks.
We'll have this up on the Spa PR channel as well. I'll find a way to save it somehow. And
to save this, it goes up. Yeah, up. End, I think it is. Yeah, you know.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.